Hi guys, it's your friend Ballistic B, and today we are going to be installing the Traxxas light bar kit onto the Traxxas Maxx. Now, there's a couple things you need to know about this, a couple cool tips that I have for you, and one screw up I'm going to show you how not to replicate. Let's get going. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is take a look at all the components specifically that come with it. Front bumper assembly with integrated light bar, one cord coming off of it. Light bar in the rear integrated with the rear bumper, two cords coming off, one of which is extremely small and fragile. Then we've got, of course, come on, what other company gives you zip ties with your light package and has everything so ergonomically planned out and designed with screws, everything there that you need. And then of course, the power amplifier, everything that you need, nice beefy reinforced power cable here. And then this, which is going to plug directly into the ESC here. And you can take a look right in here. You can see this little piece right here, which actually looks like a switch. We're going to be actually yanking this out because there's going to be a plug that we need to use in here. This power amplifier is going to actually mount directly onto the chassis in pre-made holes. I mean, talk about planning for the future and ergonomically well designed. You just don't have this with other manufacturers besides Traxxas. It's going to mount right here and be facing this direction, so the cords are going to be coming out this way, I imagine, to prevent it from interfering with placement of the battery. And then when it talks about where the zip ties go, if you look right down here, you can see that there is already a tiny little hole to fit the zip tie in right there, and another one right here. So again, when we're talking about next level ergonomics and planning, we definitely have it. All right guys, so let's give you a recap of everything we've done so far. We've taken off the front bumpers in order to install the new ones with the same screws that came out of the front ones, to make sure you save those and polish them up, get them ready, because they're going to want to look nice for the amazing new light bar bumpers that you're about to install. Same with the front and the rear, just two a piece, save the screws. Once you get the front ones in, you're going to start messing with the wiring, and you're going to notice a couple interesting things. First, you want a little bit of slack in the wiring to make sure that as the bumper flexes, it won't rupture. All right guys, so here's where I screwed up. So if you look at the two arrows, they're pointing to an oval shaped strut that connects the front bumper to the chassis. Then in the area where you see the "Don't Do It" symbol, you can see a blue wire that's giving power to the front lighting assembly running on top of that oval shaped strut. Don't do this, because when the body is in motion, the shell will come down and rub on that wire and potentially fray and damage it. Use the path outlined by the black line here to go underneath that oval shaped strut and then come back around and attach it normally. And don't forget to give yourself some slack. Don't draw it too tight, because as the bumper flexes, it could snap or damage the cord as well. The wires, and then as you go down, you're going to notice that you're going to be able to tie it down about this far down. You're going to want to go down this bar a little bit before you use one of the tie downs, because you're going to have a lot of slack in the wire and you want to take up some of it right there. You're going to come up, keep it to the true left of the vehicle as it's facing forward. This is the left side. Tie down here and here. Notice we're trying to avoid the steering servos in here. We had a little bit of excess wiring here that I didn't want to have into a big loop that was going to come up to potentially be caught by my finger or anything else when I'm doing repairs or messing around inside the Traxxas. So bound it down with an extra tie down here. As we're bringing it around, we brought it underneath this little strut in the center, because again, there's so much extra wiring, you have to find a place for the wire to go. Otherwise, you're going to have big loops and excess wiring everywhere. Then it comes in and does not go completely down into this recess, because there's another wire down here occupying that space. but just in a little bit to stay out of the way. And then as we come over and look at the wiring inside, you can see that we've drawn all the wiring, especially the ones from the front bumper, very tight, so that there's no excess that is reaching out and touching the motor. Because if any of the wires come out and touch the motor, you run a risk of them getting heated up, getting melted, getting frayed. We've done the same with the rear wires. You notice that they've come out very tightly around the edge of the high voltage amplifier, down to a natural tie down here, back to a natural tie down here. And then as we come to the rear bumper, you've noticed that we've brought it very low to tie it down, take up a little bit more excess, and wrapped it around this rear bumper post. Now the other thing that you want to notice is when it's coming out of the bumper right here, we put it underneath this little bumper flex, because as the shell comes down during use, it's going to tap on this flex and potentially rupture the wires if you bring it above it. So make sure you take it under it, and I'd recommend wrapping around it in order to be able to take out all that slack and tie it down. Now the next thing you're going to notice is the power cord. What to do with it? It's got a lot of excess. It is really, really long. So what you're going to want to do if you want to take up some of that excess and get it out of the way is take it around here, put it in this recess, which will be pushed all the way down here once we tie it down securely with this extra tie down here. Now, I think I've got some black full-size tie downs, so I may actually want to switch, but when it's white, it won't really matter. It's on the interior anyway. But a nice big thick full size tie down is what I wanted to use here. And why? Because I used the final remaining tie down, the extra one. You're going to want, of course, to take the power cord around and plug it in to this area right here. Now this is a power cover, power access port cover that you're going to want to take out. And when you put the power cord in, make sure that you do it with this little notch coming out, facing out towards you in this direction. Now, how you take the power cover off is actually not that complicated. So all you have to do is take this little notch right here and press it out. This little clip out, and then come in, get the pliers on it, pull it right out. And then note that there is a little notch right here that needs to face out when you're pushing the power cord in. And you'll notice down here that there's actually a little notch in this little clip. Those two are going to line up. If you don't line them up, you're going to have a little difficulty actually pressing this in. But once you line them up, you're going to be able to just give it a little press, and it should fit all the way down in nice and secure. Take it down as far as you possibly can. Now that you have, the only question that remains is what about the modes that you have available with the mode selector here on the power amplifier. The first mode is stock, everything running all the time, low beams in the front. Mode 2, when you press it, is going to allow you to have high beams in the front, everything else running. Mode 3 is going to allow you to turn off everything for daytime running mode except the brake lights in the rear and the reverse lights. So all that's left, it's time for the light show. All right, so if you enjoyed the video and the Traxxas Maxx and want to learn more about this amazing vehicle, click on the video link at the end of this video to check it out. All right, guys, that's it for me. I'm out. As always, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, but more importantly, please subscribe, click on that B button and bash it to become a subscriber and help us continue to do more of these amazing videos. Be safe, be fun, and be lead.